Hello everybody, and we are back with week 6 of the Old Dominion Dynasty Year 4. Take a little look at recruiting before we jump into the game at Tulsa. Just a quick overview of some of the recruits we're looking at to bring onto the team. A few quarterbacks. Greg Jones out of Norton J. Campbell and Shane White. Shane White, a 3-star out of Alabama. Not too bad, 6'3", 232. He's a good size. More of a scrambler, more of an option type quarterback, which would fit our offense right now, but certainly lots of things to look at going forward. Greg Jones is a bit of a long shot, but we'll give it a try anyway. And we have Matt Gardner, Antoine Hopkins, Paris Bennett, 3-star running backs. Not too bad. Matt Ryan, 3 stars. Wide receiver Reynaldo Wheeler, 6'6", could add a lot of size to that receiving core. Joe Parham. I really want Joe Parham because he is probably the best receiver we're looking at. Maybe Rashid Chase is a bit of a surprise as well. He's actually looked pretty good from some of the ratings we've seen for him out of Harvey, Illinois. So, lots of things to look at. Believe me, it's all part of team building. Junior college defensive tackle David Brothers. Junior college guys, of course, you'll lose a few years of eligibility depending on what year they come in at, but they generally come in a bit higher rated, so you take what you can get there. Mike Butler and Stephen Gant. Don't know how we're trailing so far behind Georgia State, but it happens. And yeah, that's about it. Cameron Williams, a cornerback. Jason Wright, strong safety, trying to fill in some roles on defense. And here it is. We're at Tulsa, and if you guys remember the last time Tulsa and Old Dominion played here in this dynasty, it was in that conference championship game last season, and Old Dominion won, but that was on Old Dominion's turf. Now we're going to meet in the regular season. East versus West divisional matchup. Tulsa has not had a very good year, though. They're 1-3, they're 0-1 in conference play, and their quarterback, Joseph Calcagni, had a pretty solid season last year, but this year he's not started off too well. He has 2 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That's a terrible ratio to have as a quarterback. You never want to have that kind of start to a season. And they're coming off their first win against Texas State. Look at that performance he had against Texas State. That's good. He had 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions going into that game. He didn't throw a single pick in that last game. So he's hoping to continue that same momentum against the Old Dominion defense, which has done pretty well this season so far. Also likes that no-huddle offense too. Find themselves 2nd and 1 here on their first drive of the game. And look at Flanders. Could he go? Does Justin Weddle? What the heck happened? Justin Weddle misses, and it's a touchdown, and within 21 seconds, Tulsa is on the board. So this is the opposite of what really kind of happened in that game, in the conference championship game last season, when Old Dominion got off to a fast start. Kind of a fast start, and took it right to the Golden Hurricane. But now it's the Monarchs that are on the losing end. But one good thing is we've got Shane McCarley. The bad thing is that was not a good decision, not a good throw. A well-defended play by Tulsa, and Connor Martin dropped for a 4-yard loss. So play action fake to David Dixon, and look at this, Brandon Ellison. He's so hit or miss. He can drop passes wide open, and other times he'll make great catches and coverage. But we have some help from Brady Massey. Look at that play. 6'4" junior college transfer, as I've mentioned before. He is a senior, so we won't be seeing him after this season. But Scott Sullivan now. Sullivan, a solid back. Redshirt freshman out of Colonial Heights, Virginia. Back to David Dixon, and what happens here, guys? He ends up on somebody's back, so is never down, and he gets up and runs backwards. That's what I don't like about this game sometimes, is stupid stuff like that. So it's 4th and inches because of that. Realistically, you just got to put your elbow down or something and accept what you got. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting there. 2nd and 7, man in motion is Melvin Vaughn. And Dixon handoff to the left side. He's going to get right across the first down marker. Looking good. Old Dominion's first drive doing well. 2nd and 10, a little read option handoff to Harvey Taylor. A good tandem of backs for Old Dominion, and Dixon, Taylor, and Sullivan. Lots to work with here this season. 3rd and 3, and it's going to be a little triple option. McCarley takes it up, and he gets hit pretty hard. But it's first and goal. Old Dominion looking good. Under center, second and goal now. Midway through the first quarter, Dixon. Look at this hard running by Dixon. Following his blockers and just strong running. So it's third and goal. McCarley going to roll out as he usually does. Not much to work with, and good defense. They spied him out. They're not going to let him get very far scrambling, are they? A couple plays so far on this drive, they haven't let him scramble on another fourth down. Time to go for it. Hand off to Dixon outside. You can't give him any room. Touchdown, David Dixon, and it's his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. But you can't give him any room, especially on the outside, because he's so fast that if you give him that extra step, he's going to blow you away. And it was just a couple-yard run anyway, so Roshan Doherty. What a linebacker this guy's turning out to be. Great play. That would end the drive. Killed it for Tulsa. So Dixon, we put David Dixon on punt return duty now. See what he can do. Spin move and gets about 6 yards on the return. So impressive spin move, but didn't have much else going for him. Later in the drive, a couple first downs later for Shane McCarley. Sits in the pocket and finds Philip Dickens. 12 yards. Nice pass. Nice catch. We're nearing the end of this first quarter. It's going to be the handoff to Dixon, who fumbles it. Dixon, not typical of him. He's not usually the one who fumbles the ball. He's been very good about ball security. And this time it gets away from him. Good defense by Tulsa, though, knocking the ball loose. They find themselves in a nice situation getting the ball back so they can try and take this lead. James Flanders, though, met by T.J. Armstrong, the senior linebacker. Having himself a nice year, by the way. 2nd and 9, Flanders running through some tackles, and Chad Robinson can't bring him in town until he gets well past the first down. It's looking good. Tulsa's offense has actually done pretty well until that play. Chad Robinson came flying in there, and this time says, "You're not going to ride me like that again." He made sure he went down 2nd and long. For the Golden Hurricane offense. It's going to be a screen that's really well defended. This is about as perfect as you can defend a screen. 6-yard loss, and it's Rob Thompson that gets credit for that tackle. It would be a punt, and Old Dominion ball. Not bad field position for this drive for ODU. McCarley has time to throw in the pocket, and it develops for Kevin Privet as coverage was good initially. 20 yards, and they'll move the sticks. 3rd and 8. Third down situations haven't been too kind to Old Dominion so far today. They've been actually more 4th down situations so far. They're going to go long for this one and a little bit overthrown. Intended target is Brandon Ellison. And yes, going for it again as it's just in that weird territory, the weird part of the field where it's too long for a field goal, too short for a punt, and Brady Massey is clutch. 3rd time Old Dominion has gone for it and achieved 4th down in this first half alone. 6-yard carry for Dixon sets up a manageable 3rd and 4 situation for McCarley. McCarley's going to fire, and it's going to get intercepted. A poor decision. That was tight coverage, and you can't do that. It's a comeback route, and you can't do that. Intended target was Ellison. Williams jumps the route, and that puts an end to the drive. Still 7-7. Kyle Cagney has time. He's rushed, and it's Rob Thompson with a big interception. Can he get this one taken back? He's got a nice ability to return interceptions, but he can't quite do it there. And the ball changes hands again. 2nd and 8 for Old Dominion as they're encroaching Tulsa's territory. And this time, Kevin Privet found on the outside. McCarley not afraid to go right back to that side there where Williams is got that interception on the last play. Here the handoff to Dixon on a middle. Might have been an inadvertent face mask in there that they didn't pick up, but it wasn't called, so it doesn't matter. 3rd and 11, McCarley looking. He finds Brady Massey again. Man, this guy is just, every time you need a big play from your receivers, it's Brady Massey. 1st and goal now, going back to pass, and this time it's jumped again. Darrell Williams for the 2nd time, and for the 2nd time in the red zone, McCarley is going to run him down. But Old Dominion could be up big right now, and poor play calls, poor decisions. 2nd time Ellison has been covered by Williams, and it's been intercepted. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Good defense by Kavon Walker getting the quarterback, but it didn't stop Flanders from getting a 1st down. Good grief. 1st and 10. Gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Tulsa with 2 timeouts left, and Calcagney has all day to throw. Where's the pressure on this play? Flanders gets separation. If you can't get any pass rush in a situation like that, he's just going to find somebody open at some point. Good grief. This play, though, it's Chad Robinson again. Can't be stopped, Chad. Can't be stopped, and it's 2nd and 13 after the loss. And look at this, Kavon Walker with the diving, leaping interception. It just keeps getting weirder. Nobody seems to want to keep the ball. Interceptions being thrown left and right all of a sudden. And that was an acrobatic interception by Kavon Walker, the linebacker. 2nd and 10, a minute and 3 seconds to go here in this first half. Dixon gets the handoff, going to the left side. Does he have room? And he's caught. Shoestring tackle because he might have had the edge there. Could have got a much bigger gain. 3 timeouts for Old Dominion, but they run a little no huddle here, and it's Brandon Ellison this time. They move him to the left side of the field, and he actually isn't covered by Darrell Williams that time. Good decision there. 1st and 10. McCarley going to roll out. So typical, rolling out. He brings the defender. The defender comes out of coverage. What is the defender thinking? He comes out of coverage and maybe scouting Shane McCarley. They know he likes to roll out to the right side, but man, you can't come out of coverage there. The safety did not cover over the top, and Ellison was wide open for the deep ball. McCarley was just about to pull that one down and run it, and maybe that's what the defender thought. He just didn't think it was going to happen. Big pass play, and it's 14-7 late in the first half for Old Dominion. They take that lead. Now looking for a bit of burst from Kevin Lucas. 3 seconds left, so they'll get a field goal opportunity, Tulsa will. Just before the half, and it's going to go just to the left. It carries barely left, but that's all that matters. If it's barely left, it's barely left, and they don't capitalize. Man, that was a close call. We go into the half 14-7, Old Dominion leading after that big pass play to Brandon Ellison. There it is. Very unusual for Tulsa to have more running yards and Old Dominion have more passing yards because these offenses are kind of opposites. Tulsa likes to pass the ball a bit more. Old Dominion likes to run the ball a bit more. And Old Dominion struggled. David Dixon struggled. It's been a hard day running the ball. The defense is keyed pretty well on the run game. As you note that McCarley's had a hard time just scrambling with the ball because the defense closes so quickly. ODU does get the ball here to start this half, and going to find Kevin Privet again coming across on a little screen. It gets about 8 for the first down, and ODU continuing to move the ball, but got to watch the turnover. That was the big part of that first half, was turnovers, especially in the red zone. Red zone turnovers were massive in that first half for Old Dominion. This could be a blowout right now, really. Seriously, could be. Dixon finally has some room to run, and they get him for 13 yards inside the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for ODU. Looking good on this first drive of the second half. McCarley just decides he's going to roll to his left, and nobody keys on. And this time, diving touchdown for McCarley. Number 13 scores on a 13-yard run. And now the lead has been extended for ODU to 21-7. So Tulsa needs to respond on this drive. They want to keep themselves in this game. They really do need to respond, and to respond fairly quickly. I mean, there's plenty of time left. Flanders gets 13. 13 has been the number the past several plays. I don't know if you noticed. Lots of 13-yard runs, but look at this play by Rob Thompson having himself a game. Add another tackle for a loss to his day. 3rd and 10, now shotgun. Slot to the left side for Calcagney, and he's going to find Lucas, who gets drilled and drops it. He had it for a moment, and Justin Weddle on the coverage breaks it up. So it's 4th down, punting situation for Tulsa. They're going to fake it. They're going to throw it, and this, you put that in the hands of your punter, he better be a sufficient passer. That just didn't work out. So ODU gets great field position on their next drive, and it's Scott Sullivan out of the backfield. Redshirt freshman running back getting some decent playing time, and he's looked solid. I'll tell you what, guys, he's looked solid. 3rd and 2 now, and Janelle Anderson comes out of the backfield. He's pretty slow. Haven't used him too much, and it is his final year at Old Dominion. So we won't see too much more of him, unfortunately. But this happened. Another interception, another turnover, the fourth time ODU has turned it over, and another bad pass. It's just not worked out. All or nothing in the passing game, as you can tell by the yardage there, 253 yards passing, but the interceptions have been costly. Option keeper gets about 10. Falante Mishra, the senior strong safety, comes up for the tackle. He's been pretty quiet today. 3rd and 5. Fagan gets about 13. Again, 13 is the magic number today. What in the world? We're approaching the latter half of the third quarter now. Tulsa finds himself 1st and 10. Calcagni sacked by TJ Armstrong, who fumbles it. Rob Thompson's gone. Scoop and score. And Rob Thompson with a massive day. Couple of tackles for a loss, an interception, and now the scoop and score. TJ Armstrong credited with the sack and the forced fumble. And Thompson scoops it up and takes it for 6, and now it's 28-7. That really kills a lot of hopes for Tulsa trying to come back. Calcagni, though, met by Falante Mishra. They got great pressure on that play. And my goodness, that play ate him up. 3rd and 15, trips to the left side for Joseph Calcagni. And look at the coverage on this play. He's going to get hit. The ball comes out. Incomplete pass. Chad Robinson credited with the hit. Now a chance for Old Dominion really to kind of put this game away. If they can score on this drive, it's really no hope of a comeback at all. Look at Harvey Taylor. Like a pinball in there bouncing around. 10 yards, beautifully done. Start of the fourth quarter. Option fake to David Dixon. McCarley's going to keep it, and he gets about 14. Looking good. Running game is starting to find a bit more success for Old Dominion now. Little pass midfield. Dixon gets the handoff. Give him room on the outside. You can't do that if you're the defense. Can't do that at all. 2nd and 2. Taylor and Dixon both in the game now, and McCarley hit as he throws, and yet he finds Brady Massey over the top in a 28-yard completion. That was a beautiful pass and catch. The drive would end with a field goal for Old Dominion, though, and makes it a 24-point game. There's a lot of catching up to do for Tulsa. Got to get the fans back into this game. Got to get themselves. And John Jordan, the freshman. Is he a freshman? I'm totally losing my mind right now. He's a sophomore, Richard sophomore out of Hamilton, Canada. 3rd and 15. Looking deep. It's Marcus Massey, the free safety, with the interception. And that's a total of 8 interceptions on the day. Not 8 interceptions, I should say 8 turnovers. I'm having brain farts right now, guys. I can't think of anything correctly, so I apologize. And now backup time. Josh Silva comes in, launches this one, and Dickens in the back of the end zone. That was a beautiful pass by Josh Silva. And he is going to stay at quarterback. I know some people were saying he should be cornerback, and he might occasionally find himself at cornerback, but he still has use at the quarterback position. So ODU 38-7. We jump ahead a little bit to Tulsa's next drive, a little bit later in the drive, as they're trying to put some points on the board and try and find themselves a bit of consolation. It is Calcagni to Kevin Lucas on that one. Touchdown for Tulsa, 38-14 now. And with time taking away, Old Dominion is kind of just trying to kill time and get some experience for the backups here. And look at this pass. Lawrence Reese from Josh Silva. That was a beautiful pass, and Reese has the best hands on the team. He wears the number 7 this season. He originally wore the number 83. He wears the number 7 this year. So just trying to get some backups, some experience, some playing time, improve their skills and abilities, and that would be the game. Didn't really intend to run the score up, really. That wasn't the intent, but it happened. Rob Thompson, no doubt. I mean, I don't think anybody can disagree about him being the player of the game. That was a monster performance. 7 tackles, 2 for a loss, interception, and a fumble return for a touchdown. Leads to the 45-14 victory, and Old Dominion dominates. Look at that. Silva's quarterback rating is obscene. 2 touchdown passes. Carly had a bad day with the interceptions, but overall, 293 yards passing. That's pretty impressive. On the other hand, Dixon only 65 yards rushing. Wasn't a good day for him. He's one of the best players on this team. Philip Dickens, 8 receptions, 88 yards, and a touchdown. That's a great day. Ellison, Massey each had solid days as well. Kevin Privet, nice day in the passing game for Old Dominion, really. Other than the interceptions, I mean, it was still pretty good. Chad Robinson, a nice day for him. Misher, Jordan, Armstrong all getting a piece of the sackage. Walker, Thompson, and Massey all having interceptions. Great day for the defense in that regard. Only held the Tulsa offense to 14 points, forced 4 turnovers, and also had a defensive touchdown. That was very important. So I think this was one of the better defensive performances that ODU's had. Tell me if you disagree. You're certainly welcome to. But on the other side of the ball, Tulsa, just over 50% completion, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and sacked 3 times. Flanders, though, 14 carries, 143 yards, and a touchdown. That's a good day. They should have run the ball more. If they had run the ball more, it would have made things a little more difficult for the Old Dominion defense. Their offense is a little bit more predicated on passing, but if they just gone with a little bit more running game, might have been a different game altogether. Darrell Williams, 2 interceptions. Really shouldn't have kept throwing in his direction, but what happens. Stuff happens. And there you go. So ODU improves to 5-1 and picks up, their second conference win of the season. They remain undefeated in conference play. Tulsa remains winless in conference play, and look at that. The Monarchs, 543 yards of total offense to Tulsa's 322, and 349 of those yards for Old Dominion came through the air. And that doesn't happen very often. Very much a run-oriented team. That's what it's built around. But the red zone totals are abysmal. 55% in the red zone. You can't have that. 9 trips to the red zone, that's good, but the failure to capitalize is awful. Came on the back of a lot of turnovers. And then the time of possession, totally in favor of Old Dominion. Here we'll take a look at the Heisman contenders right now, led by Willie Jenkins of Stanford, Thomas Tyner of Oregon. 3 Pac-12 guys on this list, 2 SEC guys, so take that for what you will. We're at about the midway point in the season, so it's a good time to start figuring out what we're going to do in the second half of the season. It's going to be pushing for another conference championship, and can we win the rest of the way? Tell me if you guys think we'll win the rest of the way, or maybe there's a loss in the mix somewhere. I don't know. We've got Marshall. Marshall looks really good this season, so maybe there'll be a challenge down the road. But Rob Thompson, Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. I thank you guys for your patience and your awesomeness and all your great comments and your helpfulness. I love you, and I will see you.